Sporgy. ChristopherMedia.net.
Yeah, this season I actually had little business cards made. Eric Rubino, Fantasy Baseball GM. You can keep that. Sure, the players are famous, but come game day, I decide their fate. What's that? Oh, you make $20 million? Well, I don't like your attitude. You benched! No, I'd never bench an all-star, but I could. That's also why I like Progressive's Name Your Price tool. With options based on my budget, they never throw me a curveball. That's a little baseball reference for you.
Get options based on your budget with Progressive, even if you're not a legend in your own mind. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Nya, nya, nya. Ba, ba, Babue, Zimbabwe. The broken Bunsen burner burns so bright. Southeast Asian Peninsula.
Hey, Jamie?
Yes?
I think the only line we need from you today is drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Cool. I just gotta finish my warm-ups. Foul, throw in the towel. History.
Switch to Progressive today.
Santa ski slalom in a salmon skin suit.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Welcome to Sporgy, the show that gives you half-ass sports fans giving their half-ass opinions.
And now, here are your hosts.
All right, Fantasy Hack. Week 1 already. We're here. I'm Chris. With me is JR and Jack.
Hey, everyone.
And, big draft night. You know, JR, you said you had 3 in a row. I did 2 in a row. Jack, you already started drafting.
I'm in 13 leagues. I've gone through 13. Actually, I think I have 1 more tomorrow, and I'm done.
What's funny is I was thinking, this year I'm going to take it easy. I still got 5 teams, so.
I think I'm at either 8 or 9, plus count. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 ESPN, 2 Yahoo, and 2 RT Sports. So I guess I'm back to 10.
Yeah, so it's so we drafted it. We're all in the league together finally. We drafted tonight. I mean, I was telling you guys earlier, we could talk about we all got a lot of teams, but I mean, I got a lot of DeAndre Hopkins. Like literally, so far every team I've drafted, he's on it. So
I try to diversify, but I do know I have a lot of DJ Chark, a lot of AJ Brown, a lot of Jonathan Taylor. Those are probably the 3 that come up. And what about you, Jack?
I have a lot of Carson Wentz for whatever reason. I don't know if it's just because Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan are like my 2 main fantasy quarterbacks. Like the majority of my leagues either have Matt Ryan or Carson Wentz. I don't know how, but I think it's just because I waited to pick a quarterback. Matt Ryan, I probably was taking over Wentz, but I don't know. That's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out.
Well, I was surprised at how many people took Mahomes and Lamar Jackson in like the first round.
Well, yeah, the draft we were all in tonight, he went what, second?
He went second in another draft. 2 of the 3 drafts I did tonight, he went second.
He went in the second round.
I had the third pick, and I got Saquon Barkley. Who would have thunk?
And I can tell you, too, the draft I was in directly after ours, Mahomes went in the 3rd round. I mean, a lot of second and 3rd round QBs. I mean, we talked about this on our draft strategy show, but come on, guys.
You can get a Matt Ryan in the 7th or the 8th round, easy.
I didn't draft till 7th round. You know my policy. I got Deshaun Watson in both drafts tonight. I'm not mad at that at all.
I also have a lot of Daniel Johnson on the bench as my backup because no one seemed interested in him. And the rankings I saw, he was like the 10th quarterback. You know, that's pretty solid for a backup.
He averaged 22 points a game last year, at least in ESPN leagues.
And despite having Barkley on the team, Barkley, first of all, does catch passes and can turn a 5-yard screen pass into a 40-yard gain like that. And then you also have the Giants that are pretty bad and will probably be from behind a lot and have to throw. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Hope it all works out.
I
mean, he's a backup, so.
I drafted David Johnson. I got a lot of eggs in the Houston basket, apparently. He ended up getting drafted on the teams where I have Kelsey. You know, that I'm guessing that's where my stud running back would have went when I picked up Kelsey. But we talked about David Johnson's going to be getting the rock a lot in Houston. And he's going to be the number one guy. Is it going to be 2016 David Johnson? Probably not, but
better than last year's.
Yeah.
Nowhere to go but up.
Yeah.
But we talked a little bit about this right before we started recording, but I got the Sporgy League. We might as well refer to that since we're all three in it. As soon as the draft was over, I got a bizarre trade proposal offering me Marlon Mack and Zach Moss, 2 running backs, for DJ Chark, a receiver, and Zane Gonzalez, a kicker.
Did Earl offer you that trade? That sounds like an Earl trade.
Brandon.
Oh, Brandon? Oh. Which one? DeShields?
Brandon DeShields. Dark Raven, Night Rises.
Huh.
So really bizarre that, 2 running backs and then for 2 different positions. So I'm going to be with no kicker and have like a whole bunch of running backs and no receivers if I do this deal. Well, I shouldn't say no receivers, but pretty thin. So there's no chance I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Mac does have some value for me because I have Jonathan Taylor, but not enough value to trade away DJ Chark. Not going to happen. Didn't you get a trade proposal as well?
Yes. Somebody wanted to give me. They want to give me Josh Jacobs and Mike Gesicki for Travis Kelce and David Johnson. Hell no! Just the fact that you want the number 1 tight end in the league, you gotta give me a number 1 for a number 1. That's how I operate. You want my number 1 tight end, you got to give me a number 1 running back or number 1 receiver.
Yeah, sure. I mean, any trade offer I get, I look at who is the best player, and if there's one guy that's like by far the best player, no matter what happens, that team is going to win the trade. Whoever gets the best player.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you have 3 or 4 guys for one. Don't ever give up the best player in any trade to get a whole bunch of nobodies.
Yeah, quite honestly, we don't know if Josh Jacobs he could hit the sophomore slump, and then just Gesicki is on the Dolphins, so there's that. No thanks.
Yeah, Gesicki is like if he's your starting tight end, you're probably reaching. He should be a backup.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Gesicki fan because he went to Penn State, my alma mater, but realistically, he has a lot of potential, but I got to see it first. You don't draft fantasy players on potential very often, unless in keeper leagues or dynasty leagues where you're going to sit on somebody. Now, that being said, I did draft a lot of young receivers in a lot of leagues this year. I'm looking at the Sporgy League right now. I have Henry Ruggs and C.D. Lamb on the same roster.
Hey, C.D. Lamb.
A lot of Jerry Jeudy, too. So I've been looking at some of those first-round receivers, and I know they're not all going to pan out, but we'll see what happens. I've heard good things about Lamb, even though I despise the Cowboys as an Eagles fan, but it's fantasy.
I took Justin Jefferson in my Yahoo League. I get he's more of a handcuff because I got Thielen, but at the same time, still, you never know. Same thing too. I handcuffed Dobbins to Mark Ingram.
How did I end up with Kerryon Johnson? I must have missed one of my picks. This is when I had like 2 or 3 drafts going on at the same time. I don't think I ever had 3. Two going on at the same. It must have been when I was driving to pick up Jack from golf practice. And by the way, Jack's team was completely auto-drafted because he was.
And I got a good team.
He was actually like shocked how good his team is. So the auto-draft is not always a bad thing. Tell us about your team, Jack.
Well, I got Wentz, Zeke, Devin Singletary, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, Mark Andrews, Odell, Swift, Diggs, Sterling Shepard, Darrell Henderson on the Rams, Preston Williams, and who else I got here? Brashad Perryman, and I believe that is Anthony Miller. Yes, Anthony Miller.
Really not that bad.
Yeah, no, not at all. I'll tell you what, I did end up with I drafted a Bear. I drafted Tariq Cohen just simply because Montgomery's injured. It's a PPR league. He's not going to start, but it's we told you not to draft a Bear, and I ended up drafting a Bear simply because when his turn came up, he was the best of like the next 10 guys. I was like, whatever, fine.
I drafted Larry Fitzgerald, who's got to be about 50 years old.
He's still playing?
He's still playing. And I got him like near the end of like 2 different drafts. I'm like, there's all these like no names left. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe he's still got some gas left in the tank. I live in Arizona, so it'll be a local team. We'll see. It was It was a very late round pick. It's not much of a gamble, but I'm looking down at the Sporgy League and I see him at the bottom of my bench and I'm scratching my head. I'm like, I got C.D. Lamb, Henry Ruggs, and Larry Fitzgerald. 2 youngsters and a grandfather to teach them.
No, I'll tell you what. In that league, I'm surprised that I was able to pick up Cam Newton right before, in round 15.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are worried about his ability to stay healthy. We'll see. I
think he's in the Belichick system. I'll use my 15th pick on him.
Oh, sure, yeah. Can't go wrong on his backup. Let me see who I got a backup here. I got Drew Brees as my backup quarterback to Russell Wilson. That's not a bad combo to have.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, what?
No, I was being sarcastic.
Oh. Yeah, that. I don't know how I ended up with that. I think I missed a couple picks here that got auto-drafted. Not many. But I think when I was driving to get Jack, had the phone in my hand, and I didn't want to wreck the car, so I was pretty careful about waiting until I stopped. And I think I missed a couple. I think I missed the Breeze pick and the Kerryon Johnson. The rest of the call picks that I remember making. So,
and I could tell you, I took a chance on, especially with Deshaun Watson as my quarterback. I took a chance on Will Fuller. I mean, he's on my bench, but still, he's going to be Houston's number 1 receiver. So,
yeah, you know what? I'm going to liken that to what happened to Juju Smith-Schuster last year. When you go from being the second man up and not getting that number 1 cover corner on you to go being the top dog, it's a lot tougher.
Yeah. Well, that's why he's on the bench. Yeah. Fuller's challenge, too, is playing a whole season.
Yep.
That guy loves to get injured.
All right, so probably a lot of people are like, well, enough hearing about your teams. How can we help your team? So we're going to go through the week 1 schedule here because we've got a game, and by the time this airs, it'll be 24 hours, right?
Oh, yeah.
We've got a game on Thursday. So, man, it seemed like it would never get here, and it seemed like something would go wrong and the season would be preempted, but it's almost here, and we can almost smell the hot dogs.
It really sunk into last week for me because, we even talked about a couple weeks ago how we were all kind of like, we're going to. But the last week, all of a sudden, it sunk. Holy shit, football's starting. It really is going to start. We haven't heard about we haven't heard about COVID breaking out in any training facilities or anything like that. It's happening, fellas. So we got week 1.
Week 1.
Looks like I get a lot of action right off the bat here Thursday night. Kicking off the season, Houston at Kansas City.
Should be a shootout.
Yeah, a lot of players going in this game that you're starting, right? Watson, Mahomes, Kelsey, Cheetah. Who else?
How will Clyde Edwards-Helaire do?
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, if you've got David Johnson, you're starting him. Just again, it's Houston. He's
a volume.
Yeah, it's a volume situation. Yeah, I mean, really, the players to note on Houston: the running back, the quarterback. Really, it's the Chiefs. And yeah, we're gonna see if Clyde, whatever his last name is worth. The guy won in both drafts. I was in top 10.
He's being drafted as the running back of the Chiefs. People aren't drafting him for who he is, and that's an inexperienced rookie.
Yeah.
But if history tells us there's one position you can do pretty good at as a rookie, it's a running back.
Yeah.
You don't see too many wide receivers burst onto the scene in their first year, even though I drafted half of the rooks. But if you can run the ball, you can run the ball.
Yeah, I took a chance on Zeke in 2017. Yeah, that paid off handsomely. But then we moved to Sunday, Seattle and Atlanta.
Matty Ice.
Yeah, Matty Ice.
Russell Wilson.
Julio Jones.
Yes, Julio Jones.
Calvin Ridley.
And
don't overlook Hurst.
Eden Hurst.
Wait, is he no longer on the Ravens?
No, he was traded there after the Hooper trade to Cleveland.
Oh, he's Atlanta's tight end now. Gotcha.
Yep. So
what about Gurley?
Super had.
We starting Gurley?
I have Gurley starting.
I'm actually hearing good things about Gurley, but I'll believe it when I see it. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid on him until I see it, because I've been disappointed before.
And in Seattle, you got Tyler Lockett. I got him on a couple teams. You're starting Chris Carson. Who's the tight end in Seattle this year?
DK Metcalf.
Hollister.
That's it.
Will Dissly is, but do you think he's injured?
Yeah.
I think Hollister's the man right now.
Oh, what? Will Dissly's injured? Get out of here.
Always injured.
The Jets at Buffalo. Is there a Jet worth owning besides Le'Veon Bell? Or starting?
Jamison Crowder, maybe.
He's a bench guy.
Fortunately, he's not on any of my teams.
Yeah.
And there's Chris Herndon, the tight end, always gets like a sleeper. A lot of people always talk about him as a sleeper, but he's still sleeping in my book.
Yeah. And Robbie Anderson's long gone. He's in Carolina now. And then Buffalo, you got Josh Allen. You got Devin Singletary. Who else? Stephon Diggs.
And that defense against the Jets.
That's true. Anybody against the Jets. The Bears at Detroit. Hey, man.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, well, first of all, let's talk about the big move in Detroit, right? The big move in, to me, that the Adrian Peterson to the Lions says you now want no part of Detroit's backfield in fantasy, because it's now, to me, it is now definitely running back by committee in Detroit. You got DeAndre Swift, you got Kerryon Johnson, you got Adrian Peterson. All I'm hearing is timeshare.
Yeah, who's going to run the rock in Detroit? And if it's a three-headed monster, none of them are going to be worth keeping.
Yeah,
I got Kerryon Johnson because the computer drafted it for me.
But
I have Swift in some leagues, so I hope
really
he gets
surprised. I'm really surprised because I thought Kerryon Johnson showed a lot of promise, and I don't know why has he just not won the job, or what's going on?
I want durability. I think is probably an issue for the guy too. But he's had 3 seasons to show you're the guy, and he hasn't really been the guy.
He's only 23. Huh.
Only? Wow. But too, it's the emblem on the helmet. It's also that. It's the curse. But as far as Lions, you're starting probably Matt Stafford if you waited a long time for a quarterback.
Galladay.
Yeah.
Marvin Jones, maybe.
Yeah, he's a bench player for me.
I agree.
Bears, no Bear. Like Tariq Cohen, simply because that's a volume play. But again,
Allen Robinson.
You got to be hurting if you're starting Tariq Cohen. Robinson's probably a flex for you. Green Bay at Minnesota. Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, what's up with Rodgers this year? All the lists have him way down on the quarterbacks.
Yeah, he's ranked way down.
Is he really fallen that far?
I think a lot of people think he's fallen that far. He's still Aaron Rodgers.
I agree. I think that he was provided some great value for people.
I have him as a backup in a few leagues.
Yeah, it's like I got Drew Brees as a backup today. How'd that happen? But yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers.
Who's tight end in Green Bay this year?
Cole Kmet is the rookie, and they still have Burton, I believe.
Oh, that's right. Trey Burton went to Green Bay.
Trey Burton's on IR. Trey Burton,
he's hurt. Yeah,
he went to Indianapolis, I think, and he's on IR.
What? Trey Burton's on IR.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's been on IR ever since the Philly special.
I know, right?
He signed that big contract. Everybody's sorry to see him leave Philadelphia, and he's been injured almost the entire time since. Bears fans are probably fed up with him. But now they got Nick Foles, and they didn't even start him over Trubisky. I have to think this is the end of the line for Trubisky. If he doesn't make this work, if he gets benched for Foles, it's over.
Oh, that's right. They got Jimmy Graham now.
Yeah, that's right. No, Mercedes Lewis, the tight end of Green Bay.
That's not so bad.
Oh, all right.
That being said, I don't think he got drafted in any of the leagues I'm in.
But their receiving core, Green Bay's receiving core, yikes.
Alan Lazard is the second.
Alan Lazard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. After Devontae Adams, there's a
the Lazard king.
There's a huge drop off. Alan Lazard and MVS. I'm not sure those guys are starting on other teams. Just
I wonder if Jordy Nelson's willing to make a comeback. Can't be any worse than those guys.
Right? But Minnesota, I mean, Kirk Cousins, Thielen.
That's another guy that's taken a tumble on the rankings. Quarterback rankings, what? Kirk Cousins, I don't think he got drafted in half the leagues I'm in, and he was like 20th on the quarterback list.
Mm-hmm.
Is he really that awful?
I think people think he's that off. I think people are maybe expecting his value's going to go down a little bit now that he doesn't have that two-headed monster receiving core.
I'm going to predict that he's going to be better than people think, and
yeah.
He may not have started the season on everyone's roster, but I'll bet he'll be picked up in almost every league by midpoint of the season.
How about Dalvin Cook in our league that we drafted in tonight? Somebody picked Dalvin Cook number 3 over Zeke. You think that was a good move?
No. Because he is another guy that may not last the season.
Yeah. I mean, Zeke is...
Now, that being said, I took Kamara over Zeke in one league, but it was a free family league with a whole bunch of Eagles fans, and I'm like, I am not taking a Cowboy in this league, even Zeke.
Huh.
So because there was no money on the line, I went with Alvin, but I sucked it up and drafted Zeke in like 2 other leagues because when you pick third, you're almost always going to be stuck with him. Not a bad guy to be stuck with unless you're an Eagles fan that can't stand the Cowboys, but it's fantasy, people. If you got money or beer or whatever your franchise fee is, because I am in a couple of craft beer leagues that the prizes are boxes of beer. If you have something on the line, you put your allegiance to the back. You tuck it away because you can't give up the chance to take Elliott.
No,
he is all that.
Yeah. He's done nothing. He's done nothing but produce. Miami at New England. Not the blowout we thought it would. We predicted in years past, but
it'll
still.
be a good game.
Hey, speaking of Miami, I don't know why Devontae Parker dropped so far, but I picked him up in like the 10th round today. One of these drafts. I mean, I guess people are just, it's kind of like the Bears. They're like, oh, I don't want any Dolphins on my team. They suck.
That's really the only person to own in a Dolphins uniform.
Well, maybe Jordan Howard as a bye week fill-in. If you're starting running back, you're in trouble.
Sporty. ChristopherMedia.net.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
At Jewelers Mutual, we're a little obsessed with jewelry. Obsessed like auctioneers with talking fast.
50, we're going to 50.
Pop stars with auto-tune. And dentists with asking questions.
So, how did he propose?
After they've put their hands in your mouth.
Great.
Yes, we've made jewelry our obsession for over 100 years. We love it so much we named our kids Ruby, Amber, and Opal.
Venti soy latte for Opal?
At Jewelers Mutual, we insure jewelry and only jewelry, which is why people who are also obsessed with jewelry trust us with theirs.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
Okay, so, did you see that game the other day? The refs, right? I mean, come on. They were totally out to get us. That always happens to our team. Drivers who switch to Progressive can save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
ChristopherMedia.net. Sporty.
What about Ryan Fitzpatrick, tutoring Tua? I don't want any part of any of that either, but although we said that before, and Fitzpatrick will probably be on a few rosters in 3 weeks too.
Has that guy ever bought a lottery ticket? Because he should.
I don't know who he has pictures of.
Yeah, I know, right?
But you know what?
And he's not a rookie either. Hasn't he been in the league like 10 years?
He has put up decent numbers. That being said, I'm not touching him.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to. He's the kind of guy that when you get a catastrophic injury to your starting quarterback, you got to pick somebody off the scrap heap if he's there. That's the kind of guy that might be left.
Yeah. And the Patriots.
I don't know what to do with the Patriots this year. Who's the running back? Maybe in a PPR you take James White. Tony Michel is not really. It's a timeshare committee type deal. I guess you still got Edelman there. I don't think anybody knows what to expect from.
If you ask me about
the tight end up there,
what's it? I don't know.
No one drafted him either. You got to think that Belichick's going to find a way to use a tight end.
I mean, if you ask me, the only New England Patriot I am telling you to start this week is Julian Edelman, and that is just based on. By the way, Ryan Izzo, the tight end.
Oh, yeah, we'll see. Boy, for such a successful franchise and a successful coach, it's kind of head scratching that we're sitting here saying Edelman's probably the only starter, but it's the reality.
Yeah. Here you go. The Eagles at the Washington football team, because you're not allowed to say the other name anymore.
Right.
Carson Wentz is healthy.
Zach Ertz is also
injured list. I don't know if there's a receiver on the roster you're going to start. Deshaun Jackson's looked very good, but he's injury prone, and if he's in your starting lineup this week, you're probably in trouble.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders, I think he's still banged up, but I think
that's maybe the only Eagle I'm telling you to start is him or Ertz.
And Wentz.
A lot of people don't like Wentz for fantasy purposes.
I'm just saying that Washington defensive line is pretty good, so they might. And the Eagles have already lost 2 starters on the offensive line, so that could be a problem for Philly. But
Washington,
still a Washington football team.
McLaurin. I mean,
and what is it? Gibson, Antonio Gibson, or Anthony Gibson? What is it?
Yeah, that's right. They're running back, and that's simply a volume situation. And if you're starting that guy,
good luck.
Yeah, it's already. It's only week one.
Eagles are pretty strong against the run. But McLaurin and maybe Gibson is about it on the Washington football side of the field.
All right, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Carolina Panthers.
Henry Ruggs, maybe. Certainly starting Josh Jacobs.
Start
Darren Waller.
Yep.
I'm really, really excited to see Henry Ruggs, but am I going to start him this week? No, I got to see something first.
Who catches the ball in, Henry Ruggs, Hunter Renfrow. Ooh, that is a big list of no names in the Raider receiving core.
I think it's going to be a feast for Darren Waller.
Well, yeah, the only one experienced catching the ball in there. And then Carolina, this is another, this is definitely a different team than last year.
CMC and a cast of idiots.
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater, you're not starting him. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, if you're starting those guys already, you're already in trouble.
DJ Moore is better than you think, but I got to see how Bridgewater and him click before I start him.
Whoever the hell Chris Manhertz is, he's the tight end. Oof.
What?
Yeah, if you own CMC, you win, because that's pretty much going to be the offense in Carolina this year.
I thought Greg Olsen was going to retire, and he's actually in Seattle now.
Oh, no, that's right. That's the Seattle tight end.
That's the Seattle tight end.
Yeah, not Hollister. It's Greg, 44 years old, Olsen. Indy at Jacksonville. I mean, what? T.Y. Hilton, Marlon Mack.
Taylor.
I hate that backfield.
I've got a lot of Jonathan Taylor. I have to think he can beat Marlon Mack out.
And then Jackson.
I've read some things that Hilton might not have the kind of year that you would expect, but we'll see. I don't think anybody drafted Phillip Rivers. I think they're afraid that he'll throw more interceptions than touchdowns.
That's right. That's right. He's not in L.A. Who is the Chargers quarterback this year?
Tyrod Taylor. And Justin Herbert probably midseason.
Wow, Tyrod. There's a name I haven't heard in him. Tyrod Taylor, huh?
Tyrod Taylor is.
He has taken worse teams in the playoffs in Buffalo. Oh.
He's a placeholder.
Oh, I mean, no, not on Buffalo.
He's a placeholder.
Man, am I glad I didn't draft Keenan Allen.
Yep.
Let's see the
Then we have running backs in LA are terrible now because they lost. Well, they have Eckler, but now there's like 3 other guys that I've seen on fantasy draft boards, like Justin Jackson, and like there's one other guy. So I'm not touching that. So the
Joshua Kelly.
So the Jags, you're starting what? DJ Chark, end of list.
Yep. Who even starts at running back now that Fournette's gone?
Somebody named James Robinson.
Well, Armstead was supposed to be the starter, but he's on the COVID list.
Oh.
Speaking of the COVID list, I actually had my first experience today with a commissioner in one of my leagues. I'm the commissioner, and I had a guy say, "Hey, I got a guy on the COVID list. How do I get rid of him and get a new guy?" I told him how to put him on IR because we increased IR to 3 spots for COVID. But I said, you got to wait till waivers run next week like the rest of the league. Otherwise, you're going to get an unfair advantage over everyone else. Mm-hmm. Just because you have a guy on the COVID doesn't mean you can cherry pick somebody off, because this league does not allow any pickups till after week 1. So he was kind of perturbed that he's got a short roster this week. I'm like, well, you'll have to fix it next week because we're not letting you pick anybody up.
Cleveland?
Just another fallout of the 2020 syndrome.
The Battle of the Browns, Cleveland at Baltimore. New Cleveland versus old Cleveland.
I'm picking up the Ravens D.
Yeah. Let's see. On Cleveland, you're starting Odell. You're starting Chubb. You're starting Austin Hooper. Baltimore, you're starting Lamar. You're starting Mark Ingram.
Andrews.
Marquise Brown.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews.
They still don't have anyone else to throw the ball to other than Hollywood Brown?
Willie Snead.
Willie Snead, yep.
J.K. Dobbins, I can't wait to see what he does. He's 4th on the depth chart right now, but I think by midseason he'll be seeing some time.
It hurts as a Michigan resident to say it, but I loved watching that guy in college.
Yeah, I think by the middle of the season he'll be contributing. He might be a little green now, but I didn't even realize how thin that the Ravens look at wide receiver. Miles Boykin.
Yeah.
So it's Marquise Brown, and that's about it on the receivers. Mark Andrews. There's no more Hayden Hurst to split with him. Nick Boyle's the backup tight end, so Andrews should be the man.
Looks like another year of running backs and tight ends in Baltimore.
And as we know, Lamar will get a lot of the rushing yards.
Oh, yeah. Chargers at Cincy. Joe Burrow's debut. He'll probably win. Because I just found out he's playing Tyrod Taylor.
Believe it or not, you got Mixon, who is questionable. He's banged up. But A.J. Green and Tyler Boyd, I actually like Boyd better than Green. I think this is going to be a monster year for Boyd if Burrow can connect with him.
I'll say it. I'm shocked A.J. Green's still in a Bengals uniform. I thought last year was it.
He's back. No notable tight ends for the Bengals. C.J. Uzomah.
Yeah.
Probably not on many fantasy rosters. And those...
I think, what's his name? Tyler Eifert went to Baltimore. The Chargers, Keenan Allen. That's it. Hunter Henry, if you really shat the bed when you drafted tight end.
Yeah. He's not a bad tight end. If he could stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Eifert's with the Jags now.
Tyrod Taylor, Justin Herbert, and the third string quarterback for the Chargers. I'll buy you a beer if you know this guy's name. Easton Stick.
Easton Stick. I remember him. Nope.
Wow.
Easton Stick.
Yeah, I'm really wondering. It's too bad that Chargers have a good defense, but man, I'm not seeing this offense doing much. Tyrod Taylor, Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. I don't think I'd be starting anybody other than Eckler and maybe Henry, maybe Keenan Allen. That's a rough proposition, although it is against the Bungles.
Yeah. All right, the off-season champs, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New Orleans Saints. God. Tampa Bay, who are you starting? The receiving core. You're starting Godwin. You're starting Mike Evans.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, I don't know if Brady's a surefire start. I mean,
I know some people will be starting him, and some people will be starting Gronk too.
I would not.
I did not draft Gronk in even one league.
I'm not either. I hate him.
I had
for fantasy
2 opportunities to draft Gronk. I passed them up. No.
Yep. And who is going to be the running back? This is like a 5-headed monster here. Ronald Jones, LaShawn McCoy, Leonard Fournette. Who knows what's going to happen there? So probably not starting any running backs. Let's see. And then we go to New Orleans. Of course, we got Kamara,
Thomas,
Breeze, Michael Thomas. Lot to like there. Jared Cook, tight end.
Mm-hmm.
That probably covers it all. Emmanuel Sanders, maybe.
Oh, he's on the Saints now?
He's on the Saints.
Yep.
Oh.
Number 2 receiver.
Good for them.
You got Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, Alvin Kamara, Jared Cook. You got the X Factor and Taysom Hill. The New Orleans should have a really good clicking offense this year.
Yeah, they should.
And they actually have a pretty good defense. They're going to be a tough team this year.
Old man Breeze behind center.
Yeah. Every year you think it's going to be his last. I mean, this really may be his last. Isn't he like 41 now? It's getting up there.
Yeah. Him and I are the same age, I believe.
I mean, they're loaded, and they're going to make a run this year. They're one of the favorites in the NFC.
Arizona at San Francisco.
Yeah, a lot of people are hyping up the Cardinals. You know, we're right here in the heart of the hype machine in southern Arizona, but they do have some weapons. You
should be excited, man.
Kenyon Drake, DeAndre Hopkins, Captain Kirk. Probably not starting any of the tight ends. Max Williams, questionable. Dan Arnold, no. But Kenyon Drake with Chase Edmonds to back him up. That's pretty good 1-2 punch. Edmonds is probably not going to be on your roster, but
59-year-old Larry Fitzgerald still making the starting roster.
Larry legend.
He's the third receiver. You got DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, and Larry Fitzgerald. That's a pretty good trio of receivers there, even at age 50 or whatever Fitzgerald is.
And you got Kyler Murray thrown to him. You have the right to be excited there in the desert there, John. I think you're going to have a good year this year. In San Francisco, you got who are you starting? Jimmy G? Kittle?
Mostert. Debo Samuel's banged up. Brendan Ayuk banged up, the rookie. The receivers, both are questionable.
Pretty much
Kittle, of course, is a must start.
Like
probably Raheem Mostert, maybe Jimmy G. Yeah, they got a problem at receiver. Those guys are banged up. Debo. Are we not men? We are Debo.
Man, we're talking through this. There's a lot of teams that are going to be need to make some moves at receiver this year. Trade deadline should be interesting. Then the Sunday night game, Dallas heading to see the Rams.
Cam Akers. I've been drafting Cam Akers for whatever reason.
I've never heard of this dude.
And Malcolm Brown is supposed to be the starter. And I loved Malcolm Brown last year because I thought he was going to do better than Gurley. And Brown was always hurt. So who knows? Then you got Darrell Henderson, who's banged up right now. You got a 3-headed monster there that who knows who's going to. But Akers, I think, is the front runner to get the bulk of the work. But as of right now, Malcolm Brown is one on the depth chart. You got Cooper Kupp, and then you got the dreaded Robert Woods, who, if you don't draft him, he has a great year, and if you draft him, he's a bust. I avoided him like the plague this year. I want nothing to do with him. Same thing with Jared Goff. You never know what you're going to get. Tyler Higbee's probably a solid start at tight end.
Then Dallas, the usual suspects, right?
Of course.
Cooper,
the entire
Zeke,
offense.
Dak.
I know you guys know I'm a Eagles fan and don't like the Cowboys, but come on, Dak Prescott was being drafted in like the 3rd round this year.
No,
he's really been hyped on that. He was the 4th ranked quarterback on most of the lists I saw, and I'm like, if you compare his stats to Carson Wentz's, they're very comparable. I don't get it. I mean, I know he's got Amari Cooper, he's got Michael Gallup, now he's got CeeDee Lamb.
Because he plays for America's team.
Yeah.
South America's team.
Yeah, that star, that blue star is like that block M. You you get a lot of street cred for it, even though you don't really deserve it. Monday night, the most glorious Monday night of the year because we get 2 games.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh at the Giants. Oh, yuck.
Oh, man. Sleep through that one.
Like, you start Saquon? That's it?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to start Daniel Jones against the Steelers.
I think I sadly have to start.
Sterling
I have
Shepard,
Daniel
Ingram.
Jones and Ben in one league, so... Oh,
Deion
my gosh.
Lewis. I didn't even realize Deion Lewis is on the Giants. He is. He's the backup to Barkley, or maybe the change of pace guy. And then the Wayne Gallman is the third stringer who is just stealing money.
Who do you start on the Steelers?
The defense. Give me that defense. I'll take my 10 points.
James Conner, you start. You're probably starting Juju Smith-Schuster, although I'm still skeptical of his abilities. Eric Ebron, I doubt it. Ben Roethlisberger, he's probably your backup quarterback if you drafted him. So you're probably looking at Connor and Smith-Schuster as really the only viable Steelers starters.
Yeah, and if you're starting either of those guys, I wish you luck. And then the final Monday night game, Tennessee at Denver.
The Denver Broncos.
Melvin Gordon making his Denver debut. You're starting him. Is Cortland Sutton a starter?
Maybe flex.
Probably flex. He gets hype, a lot of hype, but I didn't draft him on any of my teams. Sleeper at tight end, Noah Fant.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're starting him, but if you drafted him, he's probably your backup tight end. Keep an eye on him.
Guilty.
Jerry Jeudy, I'm high on, but he's a rookie, and until he shows me something, I'm not starting him. You're probably only starting Gordon.
Yeah.
And Gordon's questionable. Philip Lindsay is expected to do a timeshare with Gordon, so that could be interesting. And
How will Drew Lock fare in his... Well, I guess not his debut. He played last season.
I don't think too many people will have Drew Lock in their starting lineups this year.
Yeah, if you're starting him, I don't know what you're doing.
Looking like probably Melvin Gordon and Sutton, probably the realistically who will be starting for the Broncos.
And then Tennessee, Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown?
I love A.J. Brown.
He's questionable. Corey Davis, perennial disappointment.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill, say what you will, had a pretty big year last year.
Got paid.
They did go to the playoffs.
And you have my sympathy if he's in your starting lineup, though. You probably didn't draft a quarterback until like the 13th round if he's...
Yeah. You fell asleep during your draft if you're starting Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, I think Derrick Henry, they're going to have a mostly running-based attack. Maybe A.J. Brown. Jonnu Smith, again, backup tight end material there.
All right.
There you have it.
Week 1. Now, are there going to be fans?
I think... Hang on, let me check. I believe there are a few teams that are letting in very limited capacity, but I could be wrong.
Because it will be weird.
I know there won't be any in Philadelphia.
I think Jerry World is letting in some fans.
Well, that's Texas. That's of course.
Jerry's kids.
But it's
weird.
Yeah,
but you know what?
It's going to be an
Football
interesting
was
season.
made for TV. I love going to games. I'm an Eagles season ticket holder living in Arizona, and I'm bummed. I opted out of my season tickets. Fortunately, I don't have to give up my seats, and I just rolled over my ticket money in the next season, so it's prepaid. And I got all the benefits of the season ticket package, which includes a free subscription to Red Zone on my phone, and also Game Pass, which means as soon as the games are over, you can watch replays of every single game. Which, with no college football, I may actually be watching more games and focusing more on the NFL.
Yeah, where you're from and where you're at, both are canceled. No Big Ten, no Pac-12.
Yep, we're in
hard out here.
We're just outside of Tucson, where the Arizona Wildcats are in the Pac-10, Pac-12, whatever. No football here, no football in Happy Valley, so it's all about the NFL. And you know what? I can't wait. I'm going to be away on a business trip for Thursday night, unfortunately. I'm not sure if I'll see much football. I have a business dinner that night, but I can tell you where I'm going to be Sunday afternoon at 10 a.m. West Coast time.
I can't wait to hear Scott Hansen say 7 hours of commercial-free football starts now. Yep. Oh, I love that.
Great.
We'll be watching in our house the Eagles, Reds. I almost said it. The Eagles playing the Washington football team. And once that's over, then it's all about the red zone, all day, all night, from start to finish.
See,
set your lineups.
Yeah, absolutely. Set your lineups. Thursday night, and a lot of players worth playing in Thursday night games. So definitely, if you miss setting your lineup for Thursday night this week, you might be kicking yourself.
Yep. And check back with us next week because we will have week 1 waiver wire picks for you.
Yeah.
Oh no! Whoa! Hey, bold predictions.
Oh, that's right.
Bold prediction. Hey. Bold predictions.
Good call. Bold predictions. Oh, I got to think about this. Jack, you can go first since you remembered.
I am taking a look this week's schedule of games. So if anybody else has theirs.
All right, I got one.
Go ahead. All right, go ahead.
The Dolphins over the Patriots.
Oh.
Tom's long gone. Tom went to retire to Florida. As all old people do.
I like it. We have, Dolphins, Patriots. What else we got? Ooh.
This week's always so hard. It's because everyone's at 0. We don't know
That's right.
We don't know who's who yet.
We don't know what these guys are.
The Bears are who we think they are, though.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I think the Lions are going to beat the Bears. I don't know if that's really a bold prediction.
That is not a bold prediction.
Not this year.
I'm looking down here. All right, I think this is probably a bold prediction. I'm going to pick the hometown Arizona Cardinals to shock the 49ers in San Francisco.
I like it. Because if you recall last year, I believe Arizona beat them once and then almost beat them a second time. And this was before DeAndre Hopkins.
I'm just not sold on that 49ers offense. I think they have a great D, but the Cardinals have got a lot of weapons, man. It's going to be exciting to watch.
I have a shocker here. The New York Jets beat the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Kick it off.
Oh, wow.
That's very bold.
That is bold.
All right. Bold predictions in. Week 1 preview done. Yeah. Set your lineups. We are at the Fantasy Hack on Twitter. Usually we're on there Sunday morning. You want advice or want to talk football? Hit us up. Back to weekly shows here. Catch us every Wednesday. That's right. We record on Tuesdays because we got to get Monday Night Football in. But we'll have shows up Wednesday, waiver wire picks, all that fun stuff. Looking forward to a great season. Keep your fingers crossed. We get a whole season. I think we're gonna. I think if all of baseball got COVID and they didn't cancel baseball, I think football's going to be all right. So, happy football is back, and we'll see you next week.
Get ready for some football.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
So, have you noticed how everyone's grammar is completely awful now? Like, the texting and the LOLs. Whatever happened to punctuation? I mean, drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.